Holding the powerful accountable from Washington, D.C. to right here in southern New England. This is 10 News Conference with Gene Valicenti.
Cranston's Republican Mayor Ken Hopkins fends off a challenge from Democrat City Councilman Robert Ferry, and before that, a nasty primary with a fellow Republican. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gene Valicenti. This is 10 News Conference. In studio with me is the winner, Ken Hopkins, Republican Mayor from Cranston. Thanks for coming all the way over.
Good morning,
from
Gene.
City Hall.
Always a pleasure.
You know,
Always.
City Hall, you're like the Alamo up there, the holdout Republican in an otherwise sea of mostly blue city halls. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, common sense, people in Cranston.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a majority of registered Democrats, probably 30,000. We only have about 9,000 Republicans in the city, but there's a big independent vote that seemed to swing our way, and a lot of Democrats decided that they liked the direction the city was going in, so they voted with us as well.
Councilman Poplawskis, he's going to the legislature. He's another Republican success story. But why, beside you and the councilman who's going to be a state rep, how come we can't advance the Republican Party statewide? What is it?
Yeah,
because they didn't have a very good outing.
I haven't been real active with the state party. I've been focused more on the city.
That's because like a philosopher. What is it? Why does it work for you but not nobody else?
Well, the people in Cranston are very unique. We've had past governors. We've had consistent Republican mayors over the years. Yeah. I think there's only been 3 Democratic mayors in the history of the city. So people are willing to split their vote. We've had a majority of Democrats on the council, yet we did gain a seat this time. Yep. And we've got the Republican down at the State House. So things are kind of trending in that direction. I noticed even in Johnston that happened with a Republican vote. Yeah. So it seems to be happening in the state, and hopefully Cranston will continue to do that.
Yeah, Johnston's a Democrat stronghold, but old line Democrats, the old Roosevelt Kennedy Democrats, they went for Trump.
Sure.
Again in Johnston. Speaking of Trump, are you a supporter? He's your standard bearer. He's in. He won.
Yeah, I said that I was going to support the Republican nominee, and Trump won, so I'll be supporting his platform.
Okay, and you know, you said you're not really that active with the state Republican Party, but I bet they'd like to get you to run for governor.
Well, they've asked a couple of times, but my commitment's to the city of Cranston. That's what the people elected me to do. I don't want to go out and spend time in Burrillville and Portsmouth and stop running all over the state. I've got a job to do here in Cranston. That's what I'm focused on.
You did flirt with it a little while ago. When you first burst on the scene, you did flirt with it. Are you done flirting? Is it really not for you, or are you going to leave the door open? How should we leave off? Because we have other things to talk about.
Yeah, my job right now is to run the city of Cranston, to keep it going in the positive direction that it's in, but continue to collaborate and work across the aisle. I mean, I'm the only Republican mayor, so sometimes it's lonely, but other times I've made great strides in working with the speaker, working with the governor, working with Congress. So that's what I have to do to get things done for the city of Cranston.
You had a nasty primary with Barbara Ann Fenton-Fung. You used to be friends, and you're not friends anymore. Is there any repairing of that rift, or no, you're pretty much done?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the attacks on my family and the personal attacks just got me to a point where I'm not sure if that will ever be healed. It just got too personal. I tried to stay above it, and I think I did. And the people recognized that, and we had a pretty landslide victory. But it's too bad that it had to go in that direction. But I think sometimes egos get in the way in politics.
How did you leave off with Ferry, the Democrat who challenged you?
Yeah, pretty much. He has his own ideas of government. Right. I don't think he was qualified to take the job. He wasn't ready for it, that's for sure. And his personality wasn't one that could work with other people. He seems to think so, but at the end, I wished him well. I thanked him for getting in the arena. Right. And I went back to work the next day.
Well, when you said he wasn't ready, now you've been the mayor, so now you know. What would you tell somebody who's not ready for mayor? Oh, you don't understand. You have to have a thick skin. You're going to hear from people you'll never hear from before. Sure. Everybody's got their hand out. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is that to understand the budget is the biggest thing. I mean, he came out with comments like that. He used to own a business and he did a payroll. Well, the payroll is not my job. I've got people that do that.
Right.
To understand, I'm the CEO of a $350 million corporation. That's my job. And I have to hire the right people and provide the leadership to get that done.
Okay.
And I don't think he had those qualifications.
All right, well, election's over. It's
Thank
old news.
goodness.
Let's go to new news. And you know what? Let's begin geographically. Channel 10 is in the Howard Industrial Complex, and around the corner they're tearing down that old prison that faces Route 95, and that's been talked about as a Costco site, a hotel. They're tearing it down. So is there something I don't know about that's going in there?
Well, like I've always said, government takes time. The levels of bureaucracy take time. That building is a perfect site for a big box store. The first thing that we did since Costco got involved was to change the zoning. Right now it's zoned for commercial, it's zoned for a big box. We continue to hope that a big box store of relevance like Costco would still be interested. They haven't said no yet, but my feeling is that the developer of that site would like to get it sold to somebody. And so we're going to continue to work with them and see what comes out of it. But I'll still continue to keep our hopes that a good big box store will go in there.
You're going over there after this interview?
Immediately after this, yeah.
For what? Why?
Just to check out the facility, to see what the progress is. I always like to talk to the businesses that are on that street to see how they're affected by whatever comes in. So,
well, I could tell you, I happen to know some of them, and they're not so crazy about a Costco going in. Because you can imagine the traffic, the people, and the guys running a business here. Someone else is running a business here. So what do you think they're going to tell you? Well, maybe you know already.
Change is always difficult, but my feeling is that the more people that go into that facility will pass by their business. I think it's going to be very helpful for their businesses.
But they're not retail businesses.
Yeah,
there's a manufacturer, there's a floral wholesaler.
Well, the floral wholesaler is the closest one.
Yeah,
and,
so I could kind of see their point. You know, we're doing our thing here, and if you put a Costco over here, that's going to change everything.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. The future is bright in that area. It's one of our commercial districts that we're going to be working on over the next 4 years.
Well, what else might go in there if it's not Costco? So you're saying Costco is still on the table, or?
I've never thrown it off the table, but the process of government and getting it to the point where it is now, the cost of demolition was extremely expensive. The changing of the zoning was extremely important. Something will be there within the next year.
I've heard hotel. I think you told me
possibly,
that last time you're wrong.
That's a possibility, but I'd like to see it as a commercial development, and that's going to definitely help the tax base for the city.
Okay, let's go to Garden City, since we're in this neck of the woods, and you got Topgolf over there, and you've got that dedicated access road going over there, and Route 37 is under construction. I threw a lot out there. Give me your assessment as the mayor.
Well, Garden City is my neighborhood, so I take special pride in it. We've continued to build Garden City. I work with the general manager, Joe Cashel, over there on a daily basis. It's booming. It's probably the premier shopping outlet in the state of Rhode Island.
I think you're probably right about that. Yeah.
And but as a result of that, we've been able to attract other businesses to come in, like Topgolf.
Yep.
The area next to Topgolf is a development that I'd like to work at. We've worked with the Capianato people, Kelly Coates in particular. We've met with some big companies, and it's just a matter of time before something comes into that area.
You got that old Citizens building over there?
Yeah, that's ready to be renovated. We've worked on some tax stabilization programs to lure some companies to come in there.
Any fish on the hook? Anything you could let me know about, or no?
We'll see. But you'll be the first one I'll call.
Well, I hope so. You know, you can come right over if you like.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Listen, you're building schools.
Yeah,
that's an ongoing thing, and you came out of the school system.
We did. We're building our third school as we speak in the 4 years that I've been mayor.
Yep.
We're at the Gladstone complex now, which is a sorely needed school in that district. We're going to combine Arlington and Gladstone and get probably 700 kids in that building, which is the nice part is it's going to free up some properties for us.
Right.
The Arlington School is now going to have about 7 acres, potential for housing to go in there. We have got the schools on Waterman on Pontiac Avenue. That's going to be developed. Hopefully, I'm looking for a City Hall annex, so that could be a good site
Oh, you need more space?
We need more space. Yeah, right now, when I walked in the door, we inherited the Janicki building, the Burger King building on Pontiac and Sockanosset.
Yep.
And all of our public works are over there. We've got inspections and surveying and whatnot. And we'd like to get them, our CBDG offices there, we'd like to get them closer to City Hall.
So you need more space. You need a City Hall annex. And
Yes.
where would that be?
Pontiac Avenue is a good
Okay.
location.
Right.
We've looked at multiple locations, but that seems to be the closest so far.
Okay. I know you want to talk about Rolfe Square. That was a big deal, well, day one when you get on your first term. But there's a couple leftover lingering problems, including that old railroad trestle on Atwood Avenue that floods all the time. I don't think that's been solved.
Yeah.
And I know that's complicated because the bike path is too high, and but it's got to be solved at some point.
Well, we recently
Flooding is the issue.
We recently met with the people from Washington. About 12 of them came into my office.
Right.
And we've got a flood mitigation plan in place. We're going to work with Johnston on the Pawtucket River. That's the first thing that we're going to tackle in my next administration.
Okay.
We're buying out properties. We've got about $50 million to buy out the properties. The Eastland Food District. The city itself owns a property where we put our buses over there, our transportation for our schools. We want to move that. Some of the houses are going to be done. And the redistricting of the river itself, possibly dredging, building some walls to mitigate it so it doesn't flood those areas. And we've also mentioned with the state DOT about the Oak Lawn Trestle area, possibly eliminating the trestle and building the land up.
Is that going to happen? Because this talk has been going on for years.
Yeah, well, we're putting the step forward. I've been working with Peter Alvidi on it, and hopefully we can get that done in my next 4 years.
And then you had new flooding in western Cranston that had parts that had never flooded before. Are you concerned about that specifically?
Yeah. Unfortunately, what's happening, Gene, is the underbelly, the understructure of the sewer systems are too small for the amount of rain that we're getting. You know, these 100-year storms that we're getting are now 200-year storms. And the size of the piping in our drainage system can only handle about 1 inch per hour. And what we're getting is 2 to 3 inches in some storms. And as a result, that's what the flooding is coming from. So again, we're working with the state. We've got a flood engineer that's working on the plans, and we're trying to solve that one day at a time.
So you may need a little infrastructure work to solve that
Possibly,
completely.
but it would be in combination with the state.
Right. Rolfe Square, I drive up north if I'm going that way, towards City Hall. I do see improvements. A lot of new restaurants in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that going to your satisfaction, or you'd like to do more for that area?
Well, the key there was the anchor of reopening the Park Theater. We've got a new company called Spectacle Live that's already booked a number of shows, estimated about 90 shows the first year, and on average over 100 to 110 shows in the future. But every night that there's a show, every single one of those restaurants is booming. Between there, Knightsville and Pawtucket Village, we've created 3 new corridors. And but that Park Cinema reopening was a big boon for the city.
Well, it was a little on the rocks for a while.
It was.
You've got a new life to that. So let's hope it continues on a steady basis. I've only got about 40 seconds left. Just do a lightning round with me. The prospect of holding the line on taxes is we have to make payments for the schools that we just built. So we've got some bonds, $147 million. That's going to be part of the next budget. And your prospects for renegotiating your fire and police contracts? Always an issue in Cranston.
Yeah, we're in the middle of doing that as we speak. We're doing Teamsters, laborers, fire, police. And they've been good, and we've been fair with them.
You think you have the upper hand?
I think we're going to compromise to come up with something fair to the tax people.
All right. Mayor, thanks. You get any news, let me know.
Thanks,
Mayor Ken
Gene.
Hopkins, congratulations.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.